Good Thursday morning. This is the CIFN Midday Update as we approach the noon hour, brought to you by Integrated Seed Solutions in Flanagan, as well as Steininger Tires in Fairbury. We welcome this time Roy Plody with PCI, a division of L&M Commodities. He's up in Leland, Illinois. And Roy, fresh off some USDA information, we had a report today. First of all, please tell us what was the report and what did it tell us?
Well, we look at a little bit of a know-nothing report at first, and then it had a little reaction, and now actually it's a little more bullish for corn and beans all of a sudden. But wheat took the hit today. It got the surprise of a higher report. So we'll start with the USDA grain ending stocks. Corn was at 1,493,000,000, and the average guess was 1,470,000. So we're up 23 million, but actually it's the same number as we had for November. Soybeans at 340 million bushel, average estimate was 353. So they expected an increase, and USDA's number last month was 340, so it didn't change. But wheat last month was 583. Estimate was for a higher stock estimate at 589, and it came in at 598. So that's US crop only. Then we go to world, and we had corn November at 304.4, estimate of 304.1, and came in higher at 305.54. But once again, not really that significant of a change. Soybeans last month 103.8, estimate was for higher number at 104.1. and it came in at 102. So soybeans again is still a little bullish. And then we got to compare to last year's number for soybeans. Last year we were at 100.1, so we still are higher. And corn were significantly higher. Last year was 291.9 with that 305.54. Back to the wheat, however, wheat is still lower than last year, even though it went up. Last year was 288. Now it's 278.18, still higher than the average estimate and still higher than last month. So the USDA number for wheat is probably the most bearish. And if you want to say bullish number, you could say beans for now. Let's just go and see what the prices are at the moment. We have nearby corn down 2 1/4 at 582.5, and new crop corn down 2 3/4 at 552. But some of the in-between months are actually higher. So anyone paying attention to the spreads, we had the D-Smart spread at 0, and now it's back to a 5-6 cent carry. Soybeans up 1 cent in the Jan, 12.62, and quite a range today. We had a low of 12.47 and a high of 12.65.5. And new crop beans November 12.41 1/4 down 2 3/4, and the range has been 12.30 1/4 to 12.47. And lastly, the wheat currently down 14 cents. At one time today, it was down closer to 24 cents. So it's bounced back significantly, but it's also 16 cents off its high. So at one time today, it was positive. So plenty to look at down the road. They will digest this, but usually December report isn't a big change. And still looking for bigger ethanol usage numbers when it comes through. And for what's going on up here right now, we need some rain because they're having still a shortage of the barges getting back up here after they had that backlog down there by Mississippi. They had some barges go aground, or a tug go aground. So need to catch up.
Calling for a little shower here over the weekend. We'll see how much we get.
Yeah, and will it really help on the Mississippi much? I don't know. The actual water level I read the other day at St. Louis is 0. So when it goes below 0, do they immediately start having to load things lighter is the question, and I'm not 100% sure. I know they were dredging in some areas, but that's not unusual either. I want to go to this report here. All right. So besides looking at gross numbers, it's always good to look at stocks to use, and it's good to look at export commitments. So the corn ending stocks, last year we were using a stocks to use ratio of right at 8.1%. And the projection right now is back up closer to 10.2%. And the commitments were behind. We can still make them, but going forward, we would need about 27 to 27.5 million bushels a week to make the estimated export commitments. And a lot of what's on the books right now actually was booked last year for this year's shipment. And everybody says, well, where's China? Where's China? Well, they've been buying from Brazil, they've been buying from Ukraine, and not buying from us. Mexico's been our biggest buyer of corn lately. So the commitments as of the annual exports right now, we're only at around 57, 58%. And last year we got up to 85% as of November. So we could use a little bit of a spurt here, let's just say, to make sure things are moving. But in our area, it's hard to move it when you don't have easy, cheap transportation, that's for sure. And there was a comment made to me by a merchandiser that they still having some problems with getting good workforce to run the barge ships, thanks to COVID and people that basically are staying away or not coming back to work. So,
Anything on the livestock front today, Roy?
looks like they're a little weaker, and the spread between cash and futures has definitely been going awry. Cash cattle this week at Congerville, top of 150 or 150.5 again. They had that last week too. But futures are down right now about $1 at 136.60. And let's go to April's down 75 cents at 141, 125. The outlook is good. We just had a 6-week high of exports at 93 million metric tons. 93 million tons. Gotta say it, not metric. 93 million tons. And feeder cattle are a little weaker, even though the cash markets were $7 higher this week. They had some 600-pound cattle bringing almost $2 a pound, $1.90, $1.95. Wow. That means we're expecting beef prices to stay high for a while, or they can lock them in and make it. Hogs are up, $1.50, $1.25, 77. Still some issues with swine fever, still concerns about that Dominican Republic cases that they could still come here. Haven't been hitting news fronts though, haven't been hearing much about it. I want to go back to soybeans, by the way, for that same relationship with the stocks to use. Last year, soybean stocks to use was down near 6%. And right now, the projection for next year is around, let's say 8.3. It's a chart that's kind of not really good to read. But commitments is the same as of late November. Last year, we were at a percentage of around 68%, and this year we're only down around 62%. And as we all say, we only have a window to get those moved before the new crop in South America comes along. So don't bet the farm on a crop problem in South America, I guess, my commentary. Maybe be a little bit more conservative or a little bit more aggressive in getting at least some floor prices put in. I'm not afraid that we won't have still some shocks and some upside to the system here to corn and beans. But I also think beans probably have the easier fall than corn does.
Okay. Well, a lot of points to consider for being kind of a ho-hum report. Always find something to talk about.
Well, I missed you for 2 weeks.
We have to catch up here, don't we?
Yeah. Now I still got my brother and my son out there helping a neighbor combine. So
Okay.
I don't think they're going to get done before this rain. We're supposed to get maybe 3/4 but actually the next week looks good. So I don't think they're too worried about getting her done, but it's going slow. 2.5
Yeah, they're
miles.
talking mid-60s, maybe by Wednesday here.
Yeah, that's rough on new cattle. I'm glad I didn't buy any cattle.
Well, there you go. Roy, how can they find out more and follow you for more information?
I'm here at Leland, Illinois, and my cell phone is 815-474-1679. Call or text. And my partner Wayne Nelson is in Newmarket, Indiana at L&M Commodities, and the home office 1-800-382-0986.
All right. Well, Roy, you always do appreciate the information from you, and we will catch you again next week.
Thank you, Kent, and have a good week.
All right. There's Roy Plody here on the CIFN Midday Update, again brought to you by Integrated Seed Solutions in Flanagan, plus Steininger Tires in Fairbury.